This is Sway.
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 In the morning.
In the morning.
In the morning.
Shake it.
Wake your fuck ass up. That crust out your eyes.
Having Oprah introduce you, man. I Oprah, that's like the pinnacle, you know what I mean, of what it is we do. And to have her, sat and watched the interview you did with her. It was an amazing interview. I don't even call it an interview, man. I feel like it was an understanding going on, or energy going on between Oprah and you. For you, man, is that a milestone moment for you? I mean, is all this stuff that's going on in your favor? By the way, Pharrell Williams is here. Have I said that yet? Oh, no, okay. I haven't said that yet, right? I just said. Okay, my bad. Man, I just got caught up right there. I got happy.
Yeah.
We started our show off today because we was talking about, man, the beautiful thing about this song you created, as well as other songs, which I hope to go through, is it's more than just sound. You know what I mean? From music, it creates intangible, creates energy that's impacted the world. And I heard Oprah bring that up to you and what it made you feel like. How do you feel, man, coming from where you came from to be to the point where Oprah is giving you these kind of praises?
It feels just as weird being asked it, being asked that question right now and answering it.
Yeah.
As it did when she was saying those things.
Yeah.
Because I remember watching Oprah like on the couch with my grandma, like, when I was in my formative years, never ever dreaming in a million cajillion years that I would end up meeting her, knowing her like that, seeing her from place to place, parties and stuff, and then like actually doing an interview with her. And then, you're in the room with her and her force. She's an incredible force. So like when she started playing those videos, man, like it was too much for me, because it was already too much for me. I mean, I wrote that song because it was like a pivotal moment in the movie, and they needed Gru, who's like the evil protagonist, to be happy. And I just could not wrap my head around it. And as much as I thought I had it every time, 9 times in a row, like 9 different songs, just ended up being wrong. So I just got to that place where it was like, man, I really need to figure this out. I'm going to screw it up. This is my second film with them. They were nice enough to have me back and work on the second film as well, doing the original song score. So, I asked myself one more time, like, how do you make a song about a guy that's so happy he's relentless in doing so? And that's when I realized, like I told her, that the answer had been sleeping in the question all along. And so for me, the fact that Mike Knobloch from, Universal Pictures, the music supervisor, and Chris Meledandri, the owner and the visionary for the animation house, Illumination, the fact that those guys were relentless and they kept pushing me. It could have been song number 2 or song number 5 or whatever, but they just kept pushing me. It's close, but not right. It's cool, but no. Yes, no.
Yeah.
But when it finally took me to that place of getting it right, me and my wife, we sort of drove around her truck like for like an hour, like on a highway, like, yo, this is jamming. And when the movie came out, it's done like $1 billion. It broke records that particular weekend that it came out, 4th of July weekend, or biggest animation for that weekend or whatever. And the song they wouldn't play on radio because it didn't sound like douche, 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 douche. Right.
Millennials. Damn millennials.
It wasn't that.
You do that good,
You
though.
got to nail that right there, right?
And it wasn't douche, 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 douche. Night. It just wasn't that. It was something else. It was like I was channeling like Curtis Mayfield in the Mighty Clouds of Joy. Trying to capture what I felt like they would have done with something like that.
Wow.
And so when we finally, that was like July 4th. And then we shot a video, and then November 21st, we put it out, and then everything changed. And then you started to see this incredible reaction from people. You started to see them talking about it, them sharing it. You started to see them downloading it. And in a lot of cases, they were uploading their own videos. So that's what became so humbling to me, because these people were like taking this sentiment that was intended for one thing, and it became something else. Like it became like this whole movement. And that was just like so humbling to me. And that's when you kind of look up, to the universe, and I don't know whether you believe in God or the universe or whatever. You got to believe in something bigger than you.
Yeah.
But for me, it's God. And I just was like, why me? Like, why me and why now? And it was like one of the most surreal moments ever. So then fast forward to your question, sorry. When Oprah asked me that, it was just kind of like, how do you hold it together? Because it was like, I knew that none of this was my doing. When you look at those YouTube views that are well over 200 million, none of those views are me. When you look at the sales, none of those sales are me. So it just caused me to really, really, really analyze the process and realize that, like, our lives are like these mosaics, and each piece is just important as the other. And without one, you have an incomplete piece. So my song was just one little puzzle piece in comparison to the big ubiquity of all of the reaction that I got from the public. And that was just like humbling for me.
Wow, man. It may sound weird, but I think that song humbles all of us.
Yeah.
It's anytime you could listen to something and it could change your mood, that's an intangible. That like what I could be incorrect, but the way I interpret that, it's no formula to what you create, right? Is it? I mean, it's no.
No, I mean, listen, I'm inspired by that which doesn't exist. So I'm always looking in oblivion for something, or if it does exist, it needs to be changed and flipped into a different color, or It's kind of like Jordans. Like I was like one of those guys 15 years ago, like, yo, why can't we get red Jordans?
Yeah.
And then like, a decade later, it kind of
red Jordan, you should put it in the universe.
But you don't plan for those things. The only thing you do is you go in and you just have the intentions of trying to make something that feels good and different. So try to you go for like unique and undeniable. You don't always get that, but then when you do, it's just such an incredible feeling, because like the people will show you and they will react and they will respond. You'll see it in the body language, and it's just been humbling.
It's been humbling. It's been fun too, watching you perform. I was at the NBA the All-Star game. All-Star game. And then I got a chance to watch you at Coachella right now. You're one of my favorite. I like to watch all of it, bro. I'm a fan of it all. To be honest with you, I'm a big groupie. But you're one of my favorite people to watch perform because this energy pollinates everywhere you go over the audience. Do you, while you're there, I mean, I would imagine, I'm not sure what conscious state of mind you are, but can you see the change,
Uplift.
In terms of how people are reacting to you now as opposed to 10 years ago?
You know what? You feel something.
Yeah.
But I don't know exactly what it is when I'm in the moment.
Yeah.
I suppose you could liken it to, compare it to like a basketball player that's like, when he's in the zone, he doesn't exactly know what's going on. He knows if he's going to make the shot or not.
Yeah.
But he's in a zone. And they go back and ask their friends, like, yo, how did I do? Or let me see that footage or whatever. Because when you're in the zone, you're in a different time and space. And when I'm on stage, I'm just trying to connect as much as I can with the song. I wish I was one of those dudes that you could just stand there all cocky. I did it. And I used to do that foolishly, stand there with a bunch of big chains on. Because I was trying to be like Jay and trying to be like Puff. But what I didn't realize is that like I was missing the point. It was almost like their lives were books that I was only skimming through and only reading what I felt like was important to me. But you have to read everything in its full context to understand that it wasn't just the Maybach for Jay. It was his journey in getting it I missed that whole point.
Yeah.
So you see me 10 years ago, it was just kind of like, boy, you sound like you changed, nigga. You know what I'm saying? But like really, that's not what it was about. It's, you know, what I've learned it's the marathon, it's the race that you're running that you're supposed to enjoy, and the ability to have the present, you know, to smell, to taste and feel and see and hear your experience and get your lesson. Like, that's what this is all about. And so when you get there and you get a medal, it's kind of like, well, damn, that's like an added bonus. Like, I didn't expect to win, you know, all those Grammys this year, or like producer of the year. Like, I didn't expect any of that. I just love the fact that like we made Blurred Lines and it sounded like nothing else, you know, that was going on at the time. And I was like, me and my friends, like, yes,
Yeah.
we score one in there real quick, or get lucky, or like happy. You know, I'm like, man, the world is dancing to a gospel song.
I told Sway I heard it in church, and I was like, oh shit, that's Pharrell in church? I just got up and started clapping because I couldn't believe the choir was singing happy. Like, Pharrell's song to me, which he's hip hop first, you know,
100.
and it just made me feel so good and celebrate you. But I think it's interesting, speaking of God, some would say it's arrogant when people ask you, did you expect to be here? Did you expect to win Grammys? People think it's arrogant if you say yes. But coming from where you come from, what did you want out of the game? What did you expect?
Man, I was just happy to just do it. Dude, like, I mean, Tribe is like sacred. You can't even just like talk crazy to me about Tribe. So Tribe and like De La, because when I couldn't afford Jordans or whatever, like, you know, caught a pair of New Balance or some like Vans, you know, between like Tribe and skateboarding and music, like that was my life.
Right.
So did I expect any of this? No.
You didn't even wish for it or pray for it secretly? None of that? Nothing?
We lived in Virginia. What possibilities were there?
Teddy Riley. I don't know.
But okay. So he moved there during high school.
Oh.
But just because he moved there like during my high school years didn't mean that we were gonna ever be taken seriously. So when we got discovered at the talent show, it was like, whoa, okay, cool. Well, gonna write his verse for Rump Shaker. Nothing's ever gonna happen again. You know where Virginia is. It's not, there wasn't much at the time there.
Yeah.
So there was no Hollywood. There was no music industry, you know. Bruce Hornsby, but he was out of Chesapeake, and he's not checking for what we're doing, right?
Yeah.
So, like, you know, I didn't expect anything out of it at all, at all. And I think that's what's helped me, because I'm an Aries, and once, you know how we are, once we feel like we know, we overdo it, we overshoot it, and then we just blow it all. So for me, I think the fear of never thinking that it was going to continue, I think, and loving it so much and being so curious about music as it pertains to chord structures and beats and sounds, and, you know, and again, one of the biggest puzzle pieces were, like, you know, the majority of my puzzle, the pieces are comprised of the people.
Yeah.
They didn't have to be open to grinding at that time. You got to remember, grinding came out at a time where like Shook Ones was like,
Bump it.
People were getting punched in the face, getting robbed, you know.
Fight music.
When that Shook Ones came on, I seen a lot of niggas catch the treatment.
The yapping was going on.
I seen that treatment happen a couple times. That Wu-Tang Clan ain't in the, you know, that I seen some treatment handed out.
Bring the pain and all that.
Pharrell is here with us.
Seen a lot of that.
I want to get to a couple of callers. I know he got to go. But since I have you here, I want to ask you, since you brought up grinding, there was a couple of songs I want to ask you about from the past. SWV, right here. Hit that for me real quick.
Oh, boy. And why are we playing this version?
That's the wrong version.
But why are we doing this?
You don't want to play that version?
Why are we doing this?
You don't want to play that version?
No, we do not.
Okay, all right. Go to the other version. We'll pull that up real quick, because I think it's interesting, your discography, the different artists. You don't like that version. All right.
Oh, man, why are we doing this?
Hold on. Where were you at during this time?
Well, Teddy produced this.
Uh-huh.
And they asked me to do a verse, and my verse was the worst.
Uh-huh.
And it was so bad that they chopped it up and only used the S,
double,
W, double V, V.
And that was you.
Yeah, that was me.
A lot of people don't realize that was you.
Yeah.
And so then then all of this is a part of that journey you were talking about.
Yeah, word up.
You know, and then there was a song you did. I want to go to this, a hip hop, Brand Nubian.
Yeah.
The Neptunes remix.
Yeah.
That I really used to like. This is the original, right? Don't let it go to your head.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah,
That wasn't the that's the original.
That's the original. Then
right.
you guys did, but the remix was. You remember this? And it's the first time I kind of heard these kind of drum sounds. You remember doing this?
Yeah.
What was your mind at? What, like, Brand Nubian was legendary hip hop group.
Oh my God.
What made
Such fans, dude.
Grand
Such
Poobah,
fans.
you know,
Man.
Sadat. I mean, you remember being in the studio with them? What was that moment? like?
Losing my mind.
Yeah.
Losing my mind. Because you know what it is, man? I've always remained a fan,
Uh-huh.
first and foremost. So working with all these people, like, you know, it's just been, come on, man. It's Grand Poobah, it's Sadat X,
Yeah.
Lord Jamar. Like, that was everything.
Yeah. Yeah.
And they were like on the Tribe cover too.
Yeah, that's true, right?
And that first album, Sunshine.
Yeah.
Everybody likes the sunshine.
Roy Ayers.
True God.
Right? Then you I mean, I got to skip through tracks, but you know, by this time I was at MTV and you did a song with Brittany Spears.
Yes, sir.
And I remember when she performed this. And this is one of Tracy G's favorite songs of all time. So this, if you want to ask him, go ahead and ask him.
Yeah, at some point I was a Britney Spears stan, and this entire morning we was going back through your timeline of all of your hits, and then me and Sway were thinking to ourselves, the entire context of the song would be wrong if she was asking for someone else to be a slave for her.
Right.
Coming from being, a Caucasian woman. So with you being one of the first people to help bring her to across the bridge into the hip hop side, how conscious were you of the lyrics and also creating a sound that was organic to her, but also new for everyone else to feel?
Well, at the time, I hadn't given it too much thought. I mean, it was a song that was for Janet Jackson that didn't make it to her. So I just thought that would be interesting. And Justin had asked me to work with, because I was his girlfriend at the time.
Right.
He was like, "Yeah, I want you to work with my girl." I was like, "Yeah, of course." And everyone was like, "No, don't do that. It's going to kill your career. You can't work with a pop artist." I'm like, what? When I was a kid, like, pop music was everything. Like, you'd hear Tears for Fears, and then you would hear MJ, then you would hear, like, Prince, then you would hear Madonna, then you would hear, like, Phil Collins, like Pat Benatar. But then at the same time, all of a sudden you'll hear Planet Rock. Like,
Right.
that was like a golden time for me. So I'm like, why can't we have that same thing now? And it's basically been like, I've tried to maintain that throughout, like, my career, no matter how big or small a song is to make sure all the songs have like a kinesthetic, rewarding feeling to it. Like, when you hear So Ambitious,
Jay-Z.
you like, you gotta feel that. You have to do it. And I was raised musically, Tribe.
Yeah.
That threw me off.
That threw you off. I know. Listen, you got caught up in this.
I want Pharrell to do a one-man show. It's so many characters in there. All of them. I want you to see them on stage.
You was feeling your own creation right there.
Nah, just when it dropped, I was like,
well, look, man, they're wrapping us up, man. I got to take one caller because I promised the callers I would take a call. Okay. All right. We got Lucy and Callie.
Lucy.
Good morning, Lucy. How you doing?
Hi, good morning. State 45. Love the show.
Thank you.
Hi, Pharrell. I am
What's
so
up,
nervous
Bo?
right now. I'm so excited. I want to let you know that I'm 24 years old and my life is complete because of your Coachella set.
Wow.
Favorite set. I loved it. You make me so happy.
Thank you.
Literally.
Wow, that's great.
Thank you, and thank you for making it a great show.
All right, Nicole, go ahead real quick.
Hello?
Yes, Nicole, say hello to Pharrell.
Oh my God. Hi, Pharrell. I just want to say I love your body of work. For me, like, you're kind of like filling my Michael Jackson voice because you're so, like, universal. You're like one of those artists that no matter who you are, where you're from, you can relate to you. And I just appreciate your work.
Well, I can relate to you, and I appreciate it, and I thank you so much for all the support. I do. And, man, you know what? They're rushing me out here, but I just do think it's important to just highlight to everybody, and I don't know if you guys heard me say it before, but, like, I do know that, like, where I am right now in my life is not my doing. I know I'm a part of it, but I know that it's the music and the way that the people have reacted to it. It's the people that have hoisted me this high, that allowed me to see these heights. And I thank you to everybody out there listening on Shade 45 and essentially out in the world, because without you, they're just songs. They're just songs in my head or songs that I've recorded, but you've turned them into something else. Like, you have been the alchemy in my life, and thanks for lifting me up to this height. And I appreciate it, and I intend to continue to be loyal to what feels good. So thank you guys so much.
Thank you, Pharrell Williams, ladies and gentlemen.
It's Sway in the morning, only on Shade 45.